Neighboring countries have Christmas cards. In France, we go big on New Year's greetings. We get them from loved ones, from employers, and yes, from politicians. Now, the president launches the first salvo on New Year's Eve. He makes, well, I guess you could call it France's answer to the Queen's speech. But in 4 months, François Hollande will no longer be president. And with candidates jockeying for position, they're all playing president-elect in speeches that are, well, sometimes live on all news channels, often for replay on the internet. This Wednesday, it was the turn of the first-round frontrunner so far, Marine Le Pen, the far-right candidate who hopes to ride the same populist wave as Brexit and Donald Trump. The rules of a French presidential election, though, they differ from a referendum or an electoral college vote. Many of the issues, though, seem to overlap. Not to mention, there's a similar tone, it seems. Perhaps even, and we'll ask our panel about it, a similar strategy. Just how similar? And will the French really opt for a candidate whose election would certainly spell doom for that Paris-Berlin axis that's powered Europe for half a century? Today in the France 24 debate, the race is on. With us to talk about it, National Front Regional Councillor Aymeric Merlot, also a graduate student at the French Political Science Institute, Sciences Po.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for being with us. Thanks as well to Bruno Bernard, Deputy Chief of Staff for the Mayor of Paris's 9th arrondissement with the centre-right Les Républicains party. High school teacher by day, Christophe Brunel campaigns for Emmanuel Macron, the former economy minister of François Hollande, who is running as an independent. Thank you for being with us.
Good evening.
And Clémence Pen, digital strategist for City Hall in Paris, and who worked on the campaign of Socialist Mayor Anne Hidalgo. Thank you for being with us. And digital strategy, of course, will be one of the questions that we'll be talking about a little bit later on, the France 24 debate, where you can get digital on Facebook and Twitter, the hashtag F24debate. Her New Year's press conference turned out to be a New Year's statement. A happy bonne année was wished to reporters, from whom Marine Le Pen took no questions, as the National Front leader declared, "I know where I'm going, and I know how to get there."
My candidacy has a clear vision. It's rock solid, it's strong. My candidacy is based on deep-rooted and unwavering determination. In the face of all this chaos, I have built an organized and strong presidential campaign to bring back order to France.
Aymeric Merlot, she says the word chaos. Is it really chaos in France? I mean, I know we have high unemployment and growth is a bit anemic, but France seems to be France right now.
Obviously, it seems to be France, and France will be France. If we go on this way, it won't be anymore. And so the problem for us is now to offer a new path so that the people could actually have a new way of living in France. And the problem is there will be only one candidate who will offer this path to the French citizens, and this candidate is Marine Le Pen. She's the only one who wants to quit the European Union, or at least to renegotiate different treaties.
Yeah, because her statements on that point have changed over the last few days. At first, she wanted a referendum to opt out of the euro. Now she's talking about perhaps some kind of transitory...
She's always said that she will first negotiate with the other European power and to try to get back our sovereignties, which means economic sovereignty and as well law sovereignty, etc., etc. And then after 6 months, we'll have a referendum in France, and so we'll ask to the French people, okay, we managed to negotiate this. Do you accept it or do you reject it? And if they reject it, now we will leave the European Union.
So what will be the wording of that referendum?
It depends on the negotiation that we manage to get through with our partners.
But it could be a referendum on leaving the Eurozone.
Yeah, totally. The European Union, I mean.
The European Union, outright?
Yes, totally, yeah.
Okay. Bruno Bernard, we just had the primaries of the centre-right. Mm-hmm. Is that something that militants want, to leave the EU, to leave the Eurozone?
I don't think so. Maybe France is overwhelmingly Eurosceptic at the moment. I don't think that there's yet a majority to leave the European Union. although last referendum in 2005 didn't go that well for pro-Europeans. But I think what militants and supporters of Les Républicains and François Fillon want is a solid state, a strong state. They want François Fillon to bring back authority and do everything.
There's that word again, authority, because we heard Marine Le Pen talking about being strong.
Well, we've suffered 5 years of François Hollande and his complete lack of authority during his presidency. So.
On the hashtag F24 debate, one viewer saying Le Pen's recent comment on the ECB-linked sovereign currency should disqualify her from presidency, risking France's entire economy. Le Pen is not France's Trump. Fillon is, and he will likely win. Is François Fillon France's Donald Trump?
Well, he has much better hair. I mean, if you're honest about that. But jokes aside, François Fillon is a pragmatist. So he will go to Angela Merkel or whoever gets elected in Germany and try to reestablish France's prime position within the European Union. Donald Trump is a U.S. Thing. I'd say, it was linked to many other problems linked to the U.S., and I think it was a response of U.S. voters to Hillary Clinton's failing candidacy. But as opposed to François Fillon, who received a huge support from the French, 4 million people voted in that primary. They voted overwhelmingly for him, and he stands as a pragmatist and just a right-wing man.
People inside the Parisian bubble might be aghast at the idea of being compared to Donald Trump. But let me ask you, this idea, though, when you go outside of the boulevard périphérique of the Paris ring road, this idea of trying to be the candidate who's the insurgent, who's the one who's going to shake things up, is that a vote getter?
Well, I'm very surprised. I think my American friends will be very surprised to hear that the French candidate would fight to be the new Donald Trump.
Well, he won, so that's a thing.
Well, actually, Clinton won the popular vote, which is very helpful in France. So
that's an important point, because it is universal suffrage, one vote per person, and that would have been it. In France, Clinton would have won. Of course, perhaps campaigning would have been differently. But people before the November 8th were all blanketly rejecting Trump in this country. Is it still the case today?
Well,
among the politicians who are running and among the people who when they interact, do you want to distance yourself from a character like that if you're running for president?
I'd say, of course, but there is a question whether it will work for the national election to be the outsider, and not the insurgent, but François Fillon was mostly not expected as the winner.
Yeah, he was the underdog. Yeah.
But that being said, it never worked before. We have many other candidates coming from the civic tech community. We have new experiments, laprimaire.org, which tries to push a candidate from the community, and usually it doesn't work. So.
It usually doesn't work. It's the first time we've seen primaries on both the center-left and the center-right. That's new for France. What do you think of how different this campaign will be? Is François Fillon, for instance, the Donald Trump, as that viewer suggests?
I don't think we can compare the USA and France as far as politics is concerned, especially when we know the financial situation of France and the USA, and people want their situation to improve. So French people are very concerned about their security, about unemployment, and that's what is important for them. And I don't think that the international situation, the election of Donald Trump, is something they matter.
Now, we always seem to say that unemployment is what matters. I know each month when the unemployment figures come out, we run big urgents on the news wires. But is it really the issue? Is that the issue that's going to matter in this election? Or is it these issues of identity, of what does it mean to be French in a globalized world? Is it more the French feeling that they're losing their sense of identity?
That's true. Some topics are going to be very important. Identity is going to be important. Security, health is going to be important. We have seen that François Fillon has changed his opinion about the social security, whatever he said yesterday. And education is going to be another key in this election.
And you yourself are a teacher. Christophe Brunel, you support a candidate who served in a socialist government, who's running as an independent. Emmanuel Macron, a former banker who helped pass that labor bill that was quite controversial last year. And yet you yourself don't hail from the left personally.
No, I don't come from the Socialist Party, but I think that what French people want at the moment is someone beyond political parties. They have tried the Republicans or the UMP before. They have tried the Socialist Party and François Hollande. And at the moment, perhaps, they want to change this. And Emmanuel Macron offers a new kind of politics, and that's why I'm supporting him.
A new kind of politics which is Europhile, not Europhobe. And you heard Bruno Bernard there saying that right now there's a Eurosceptic mood in France.
I don't really agree on this point. French people know that if they want to improve their situation, we need a stronger Europe. And we need to work together on terms of defense. We need a political agreement on defense, on military actions, and that's why we need more Europe.
It's going to be difficult with the UK leaving, being the only major defense contributor to European defense, leaving the EU. So, that leaves us with actually nothing, except for France.
But they've said that Britain and the UK would continue their bilateral
It's a bilateral treaty, that's for sure. But, it won't help the cause of the European defense.
Won't help the cause or may spur it on. But more broadly, you're hearing the argument there given by Christophe Brunel that actually there is a call among many citizens for more Europe.
Well, there's a call for more protection, which Europe hasn't delivered for the past 60 years now. And there's a call for more efficiency. So I'm not sure it's a call for more Europe and more bureaucratic Europe, maybe for another Europe, another form of Europe that has defined its own interest, that's for sure. But, in France, we have a tendency of looking at Europe as a magnified France. The problem is that we're the only one to share that view, and none of the other countries actually agree with that.
Not even Germany? I mean, come on. No?
Well, Germany is mainly about defending its own interest. And, we've seen with austerity measures for the past decade that, it doesn't
So
really
would you have
care
voted
about.
yes for Brexit?
I would have voted yes for Brexit, of course.
So, all right. So,
With a common point.
so what is the difference then with you heard Émeric Merlot, they're saying that you have that point in common.
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, there's plenty of other people in Britain who have actually voted yes, a majority of them. The only thing is that what Marine Le Pen has said is that she wants to go back to the 90s or even the 70s.
We never said that. Never said that.
No, she said she wants to go back to the ECU, European common currency. She wants
Because the euro
to
is
go
not
back
working.
to the European monetary system, which have failed.
Which is worse.
Unfortunately.
It wasn't worse actually than the euro.
Well, it wasn't
since the
better,
euro,
that's for
it's
sure.
the
I mean,
worst.
the idea is to improve things, not to, go back to things that have already failed.
Well, at least we are defending a point of view which actually offers a path for economic growth. Whereas François Fillon,
Well,
you're
far the economic
supporting to leave the European Union, but I don't think it's the proposition of the candidates. So I don't get
Well,
it.
I'm not supporting that France. I mean, if I had been British, I would have voted for Brexit. But I mean, as a French citizen, I would vote for a candidate that actually can go to Angela Merkel and defend France's interest over there.
All right. We were talking about values and in winning his primary campaign. The Conservative former Prime Minister François Fillon attacked hard to the right, even voicing his personal distaste on the campaign trail for abortion. Now he's got to rally a broader electorate while sticking by those values.
I'm a Gaullist, and furthermore, I'm a Christian. That means I will never take a decision that would be contrary to the respect of human dignity, respect of people, respect of solidarity.
Clémence Pen, you were talking about how he was the underdog who came up. This talking, this unabashed saying, I'm a Gaullist, I'm a Christian. It seems to be a vote getter.
I mean, I'm only talking as a campaign strategist. So usually I would have said that the entire debate on Europe, Brexit, and everything, like being a Christian doesn't even count, because what counts is your campaign strategy and if you're going to be able to getting out the vote and targeting the right person and everything.
Which he clearly did. I mean, there was very high turnout among rank and file, and he clobbered the competition.
Yes, but then there is like a sort of a tech political hangover, because we actually don't understand how he managed to do that, like without the right technology and all the campaign innovative tools. And
so what are you suggesting, that it was luck or something, or how did he? I mean, he obviously ran an efficient campaign if he won.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah,
No, he did.
When you get nearly 70%.
So how do you explain it?
I don't. This is why, like, I don't have any prediction for the next election, because clearly we saw, like in the US, that the data didn't work either for prediction or for mobilization.
All right, it's a point we're going to pick up on when we come back, this issue of how good we'll be at predicting who will win that first round in April, the second round in early May. Stay with us. You're watching the France 24 debate.